Hello. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the end of our lives. The end of our life expectancy here at the Strip Poker Night at the SPNatI Podcast, because we have finally made it to the big 80. That's right, this is episode 80. I am your host, spnanon, decrepit, ancient, here since 2018, aka the Bronze Age, here with my co-host, Nord, slightly less ancient from 2021, I want to say, and our guest, Lokkit, a new face on the podcast and a relatively new face on the on and around the community in general. I think since 2022. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct. I joined around April 2022, and I had no clue what was going on because it was April Fools. So yeah, I'm Lokkit.
Who were the characters you first played as then? Like the sex toilet or what?
Yeah, there was like Sex Toilet, Mega Mix, I think, was on there.
So you started with Peak, and it's all been downhill
Yeah,
since then.
it really has been, dude.
For your part, you've made some Peak yourself, but we'll get into that. Before you talk about the work that you've conducted, Nord, please introduce yourself as well.
Hello, I'm the co-host Nord. spnanon may be on death's door, but I have regenerated into my 7th incarnation to get over a minor cold I had over this weekend. So I'm feeling tip-top and ready to go. Only got 6 more left in me.
There's at least some tangential relation for you on the agenda here. Stuff you've contributed to, as always. When's the last time we had a Nord-free podcast?
Never.
Nord is a pillar.
We just decided to drop the pretense and make you the co-host. Anyway, Lokkit, what have you worked on for this game?
Yeah, so I started my career, I guess, my SPNatI career, deving for Nagatoro.
Unpaid career.
My very unpaid career, $0 an hour. Yeah, so I worked on SPNatI Nagatoros, got her on main a year ago now almost. And now I've been working on SPNatI Nonon, and she's on testing right now, so good player.
Yeah. She's not quite first up, but we will be talking about her this episode. Nonon Jakuzure from Kill la Kill. But yeah, I would say maybe you can back me up on this, Nord. Lokkit is, first of all, a very exciting new face. He just kind of plopped out of nowhere and be like, hey, I'm working on Nagatoro. What do you think? And then dropped like the best fucking thing ever.
I think I remember everyone being blown away by just how great Nagatoro was as soon as she came out. Look, I'm guessing you took to heart all the advice you'd seen people giving out, and you just focused it. You just laser focused all your effort, and you came out with an amazing character right out the gate. And now you've done it a second time with almost no hints leading up to her arrival on testing with Nonon. How do you feel knowing that you're 2 for 2 now?
Well, yeah, I do agree with you. Not to make this the glazing SPNanon podcast, but I did read the writing guide a lot. I think that helped. There's a lot of resources there, and obviously there's a lot of Kisuke help in the community, so that helped a ton. As for being 2 for 2, I feel like Nonon honestly just needs some more work still, but I'm glad people like her. I think she's in a decent spot right now, but
well, she needs a butt pose.
Yeah, so that's actually a 0 out of 10 then.
By all means, if you want to glaze my balls, go right ahead and do it. Before we started recording, he was talking to me about how he just tried Meia and Jura, the new Meia and Jura, since he'd been gone for a while.
Yeah, dude. I mean, hey, if you want to give me the time to do it, I have nothing but good things to say.
Oh, well, you could if we just agree to like cut it out, maybe put it at the end or something. But
the first 6-hour podcast. Yep.
I think the longest was 5 hours back in the olden days with Joe, where there was basically no editing whatsoever, and we just did everything on the agenda in one episode, very slowly, with 2 guests. It was maybe a bit excessive. Yeah, but like, as far as I remember, you were, I guess, kind of around, but you didn't talk about working on Nagatoro very much. And when she dropped, what was impressive was not just the quality, but how she actually innovated. You know, she did things that nobody else did. Whereas, it's sort of your main calling card right now. It's like the little bouncing squash and stretch animations when she's stripping, especially, and just the expressiveness and just the willingness to contort and change the model, like doing the noodle arms and things like that. And like, I think if you talked about it more, there would have been a lot of people who didn't really believe in the project because she's so hyper-focused on senpai, and you have to decide how you're gonna approach that. And I'm sure there would have been people who, were skeptical of your decision to treat the player as senpai. Do you remember any of that?
Oh yeah, like that was kind of part of the reason I didn't share too much. Because I saw like people would get feedback like too early, and then, you know, everyone has their opinion. And I feel like that kind of discourages, especially a new dev, from like trying different stuff. So yeah, I kind of figured I would just try all these things that I thought might be fun. And then, yeah, some of them worked, some of them didn't. But, you know, I think once she was like ready to be played, it made more sense to get the feedback then, so people could see like, oh, okay, you know, maybe they would have thought her being hyper-focused on the player would be bad, but then they see it in action. And I think I definitely changed a couple of people's minds. Like, I think my man's was pretty skeptical at first, and then he played her, and he said he really liked her. So
I think it's definitely worth keeping in mind not to really try to discourage newer developers from even attempting something, but just make them aware that there's a possibility, you know, things can go wrong if you don't think things through to their logical conclusion. It's clear to me playing with Nagatoro that you thought out like pretty much everything of like how should she treat the player to have the player be, you know, the replacement senpai. So it's really worked out for you because you really thought about it, is what I feel, but when playing with her.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely put a lot of thought into her, and again, like I said, like, you know, writing guide, there's a lot of resources. I wasn't just going in, like, completely blind or anything, and I learned a lot, too, so I saw, like, the kind of advice people would give, and I did ask for a little bit of feedback here and there, just on things I wasn't sure about, but mostly I think the place for feedback is testing. You know, if you ask for it too early, like, you're just gonna get pulled in so many different directions, and you know, it can be a little discouraging.
Well, we should probably start getting into the agenda proper. We do have a little bit of catch up to do. Perhaps we can start with what I will now christen the Meia and Jura corner, or perhaps the Regis system, the Reg corner. What I have been working on, I gave Meia a bunch of new butts and custom drawn stuff since last time. I've been working on slowly turning her 360 degrees and drawing her body at different angles. That's what I've been up to over the last month. Now I'm working on an alt skin for Jura. Maybe we'll talk about that next time. As for Nord, I mean, I think what you've been working on is pretty much already on the agenda, right?
Yeah. I gave Meia a Halloween costume. I've been
that's right.
working on...
we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. I'm working on Zeke and Pandoria. As of the time of recording this, they're not in testing yet, but hopefully soon. And I've got Christmas costumes planned for both Aquas. In the case of Aqua Kingdom Hearts, something a lot more modern day, casual and Christmassy, or just generally wintry themed. For Aqua Konosuba, it's her actual snow like snowy, wintry outfit from the show. That should be fun to see.
Yeah, looking forward to it. You gotta stop making characters named Aqua, though.
No, we need a fourth one.
We have too many characters named Aqua at this point. We need a full Aqua table.
Go play with Meia. Look at her butt. Lokkit, you played with Meia. You looked at her butt.
I did look at her butt.
You had some praise before we started.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like the addition of Pyoro. I think it's really like cute, and it juxtaposes well with Meia's stoic demeanor, and their banter is fun. Even just the fact that like Pyoro like hands her like the underwear, just like kind of made that like whole process make a lot more sense to me.
Oh yeah, I implemented those changes that I talked about in like the previous couple episodes. The whole thing just goes by very quickly now. You can honestly miss it, which is kind of the idea.
I'm excited to see all 360 degrees of Meia. I'm just waiting for the update where she pops out of the screen and gives you a blowjob. When's that one coming, dude?
He's saving it for himself.
I mean, that's in the script for the epilogue. I'm not actually like a big blowjob guy. It's kind of there though. You'll see. You'll see what I'm into. Anyway, all 360 degrees of her are already like kind of in the game. Not quite, but almost. We're working on it. And yes, Anyway, speaking of alt skins, let's get into well, since last time, it's now the middle of November when we're recording this, so the Halloween event has come and gone. We'll briefly mention the Halloween skins, everyone that got alt skins. And when I say lightning round, I really do mean it. We'll give you like a minute tops to really say your piece. But Nord, what did you think of Critical Darling and her alt skin, where I think she kind of dresses up as like a mummy?
Yeah, Cursed Darling. Really cool alternative look. She has
the most cursed character.
She has some funny incidental dialogue talking about how like there's more than Egyptian mummies, and you know, people that like to eat mummies. And I found that out. A Futurama joke of "curse him, I was going to eat that mummy" finally made sense to me. Also, Critical Darling looks really cute with her hair down, which she is with this costume. So I like it.
Lokkit?
Yeah, pretty much just gonna second that. I like her with her hair down. I think the costume's pretty on brand for Critical Darling, with kind of being a little bit wacky. And it's not like your, typical witch outfit or anything like that. So, yeah, no complaints from me. Very good.
That's a good point. There's the standard outfit or seasonal outfit that everyone does, and then it's a matter of whether or not you deviate from it. You got the witch outfit, you got the Santa outfit, you got the bunny suit for Easter. I guess you got like the standard swimsuit for summer. Anyway, yeah, all of our outfits are pretty good and different. Nice for a stage performer. Then we got probably my favorite of the event. Very, very pleasant surprise. Ultimate Chimera Kumatora. Dressed up as the Chimera that you don't even get to fight, it just kills you instantly. If you ever played Brawl, of course, you know that.
I remember. Stage hazard.
Or if you're a filthy pirate. Everyone's always like, oh my god, just translate Mother 3. Why don't they release it, in the West? And I'm just like, you have a computer, bro? Like, you could play Mother 3 in English for free since 2008. What are you asking for, them to censor it? Anyway, Nord, what do you think of Ultimate Chimera Kumatora?
The outfit itself, really good, really well done. Having the addition of the chick, I was like, why is there a little chick on her head? And then I look it up, and of course Earthbound has a thing where you buy an egg, you keep it in your inventory, it hatches into a chick, you keep the chick in your inventory, it turns into a full-grown chicken, which you can sell for a lot of money.
Oh no, the bird thing is on the Ultimate Chimera. That's a part of its design. Here, let me see if I can get a photo. You stop the Ultimate Chimera, but there's a button that you push on its back, which is hard because its mouth is 3/4 of its fucking body, but that turns it off. But then the bird hops on the button and turns it back on.
Huh.
Yeah, that's unrelated Earthbound weirdness is the chicken.
The chick is an item appearing in Earthbound and Mother 3.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she gets in your party.
So it's a double reference then. But the inclusion of it adds just a whole new like splash of Earthbound humor, especially when he, leaves later in the game and he puts on a little hat and I think he has a suitcase. Maybe I'm misremembering that.
Well, the really nice thing about it is it actually adds something to Kumatora's character because it shows that she can talk to animals telepathically, which is something that's in the games as well. Anyway, Lokkit, what do you think? Have you played Mother 3?
No, I haven't. But I do remember that thing from Brawl, so I kind of recognize it. I think it's a cool costume. I like that it's like not just it's like something from the source. It's like a little bit more creative. Not that the witch outfits are bad. I love those too, but this is like really Mother 3 oriented. I like the little duckling. I thought it was very cute. I like that it seems to have a lot of poses and personality on its own too. And yeah, the outfit's just really well done overall, so 10 out of 10.
Moving on, we have I'd say the worst, shittiest, laziest costume of the whole event. What the fuck is like some weird siren thing for Meia, this character no one likes. Anyway, Nord, what do you think of this terrible costume? It's really embarrassment to the whole event.
I think I'm going to break down in tears right about now.
Oh shit, he was in the room. Oh fuck. Nord. What do you think of this very interesting siren costume?
Too late. It was just a little bit of fun to make because it is a reference to a monster line in the game, which is like it's siren and succubus and that sort of thing, and they're all palette swaps of each other. The siren one appears in Mercury Lighthouse, which Meia had to guard as part of her, duties. So I thought, what if I go with the idea of not all of them are going to just attack on sight, and that's sort of the justification for it. The other justification is I get to put her in a strapless dress.
Nice.
It was just fun to make.
Yeah. So, firstly, I just want to say, making a succubus costume, really, who would do that? Not I. But no, seriously, I really like it. The thong is like a nice change from like the swimsuit that she normally has under. Even though I think someone pointed out that a lot of Halloween costumes do that, including one that I've made as well. So, but I still like it. Doesn't get old. And
I said a witch's costume, but I guess succubus is another one.
Succubus is the other common Halloween costume choice. But yeah, no, I think it's cool. I like, again, that it's like something from the source. And yeah, it's cute.
That's the only excuse you really need. It's a shame that we can't see her butt filling out the strapless dress.
Always something wrong.
Maybe one day.
Well, it's really the same thing wrong every time. I'm very predictable like that.
But yes, it is another common trend of the character has a alt costume, put them in a thong in this one.
What if you started out in a thong and then you put them in panties? Yeah? Better that homey look?
I, for one, think the thong is a very creative and innovative idea. I'm not biased at all, by the way.
Speaking of witches' costumes, here's Mitama. Another excellent surprise character in the vein of Nagatoro from last year. Nord, what did you think of her very detailed witch's Halloween costume?
It's really good. I'm not sure if it's from anything. I don't keep up with Fire Emblem Heroes, so I don't know if they gave her a witch outfit in that or anything. But regardless, it's a really beautiful costume in general. Like, the amount of detail on, well, just to single it out, the witch hat itself looks really unique and interesting because of how much they've done to enhance it. Mitama in general is really cute.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said when she came out, like, I love the detailing and like the underside of her hat and cape. Like, clearly a lot of effort went into this. So even though, yeah, I'm kind of like shitting on the classic witch outfit, like, this is a very good one. So I was quite happy to see it. And yeah, Mitama's cute.
I gotta step up my game when it comes to like these long flowing dress-like outfits. There's still just a bunch of rectangles. Luckily, people don't seem to mind too much. I just couldn't figure it out. It's hard to pose with.
It's really hard, yeah.
This honestly might be a case of missing the forest or the trees here, because it's very detailed, her outfit, and then you play it in game and she's off center.
I noticed that as well, where because of the length of her dress, it's off to the side.
Yeah, it's an easy mistake to make, but you gotta always center on their nose, no matter what, even if that makes the image really wide.
Yeah.
Now for our final Halloween costume. Anyway, new Halloween costume, I should say. All the returning ones are still there. We have the funniest named of the entire lot, Sweepheart. Sweepheart came back, by the way. Yeah, but Sweepheart from Omori. Most of them are like, Meia, Siren, or, Kumatora, Ultimate Chimera, or, Santa or Witch Dress or whatever, and this is just Sweepheart. I don't know what this is from. Do you beat her in the game, and then she becomes
a maid? In the source material, she gets, after you defeat her, she gets humiliated, and the servants turn on her and make her sweep up.
Damn, might makes right. What did you two think of it? I just thought it was funny.
It is pretty funny, and I love how for quote unquote stripping the broom, she just gets so mad she snaps it in half with one hand. Overall, really good and a nice reference, and it has a lot of good dialogue referencing, well, sort of in vague terms. She references events from the game and why she would be like this, and obviously it lets her vent out even more bitchy energy than usual. Overall, pretty good, I'd say. Lokkit, what do you think?
Yeah, so as someone who hasn't played these games, I kind of didn't know what the fuck she was talking about, why she's in a maid outfit. That being said, I really like this outfit. The animation, I love when she rips off her top and then she sweeps it away. I found that so fucking funny. Breaking the broom is really good. The dialogue I like seeing Sweepheart sort of I feel it's she's reduced down a little bit, finally off her high horse and humiliated a little bit, which is kind of, I think, part of the fun of this character. But yeah, no, really, really good. I'm not sure I see the tie-in with Halloween. That would be my only real criticism. I don't other than it's not what she normally wears, but it doesn't really feel like Halloween to me. But I almost don't care because it's just so good.
You could just make it evergreen.
Honestly, that's what I would do. I really like this costume.
Nice character arc. I just thought it was funny because it reminded me, Vandred was an anime original, but it had a manga adaptation, and in that, Jura plays a smaller role, and in one chapter, she's on cleaning duty. She's stressed.
I feel like I've seen this trope before in other anime of character forced to do cleaning, and they put on this really stereotypical janitor outfit.
It's got a do-rag and...
Yeah, it's a far cry from a sexy maid outfit, but...
You tell she's still wearing it underneath. Maybe if I really have a lot of free time in 2026, I'll make that. That's pretty obscure. Well, it's time to finally get into the agenda proper. We have a couple testing roster additions. It was slow for a time, but now we finally have a trickle of new content and fully new characters, I should say. There was other kinds of new content that we'll get to next time. One of them is the only reason I invited Nord here. I try not to, but he just keeps inserting himself into the game. He can't stop. It's another Goldensun character, although this time he's only partially responsible. This was a collaboration. This was I'll let him discuss the character herself a little more, but I think this is sort of the main girl of the game, whereas Meia is more of a supporting role. I have that right. This is Jenna from Goldensun. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk a little bit more about her development.
So this has a lot of parallels with what happened with Magma Grunt, where I made Magma Grunt and proved that a certain type of character would work in the game, and then I did the pose work for Aqua Grunt and helped Saltmine get her into the game, and he handled all the writing for her. And now that I've gotten a Golden Sun character into the game, I decided I'll make a model of Jenna just for fun, and then I was able to entice Soulheart into writing her for me. And I'm quite happy with this sort of arrangement because I feel like although I'm able to do a variety of different character types, I worry that if I make two characters from the same source back to back like this, they'll end up just being too similar to each other. So I'm quite happy to have someone else handling the writing. Jenna is kind of more of a main character than Meia is. Jenna appears at the... she's part of the party very briefly in the first game, and then you start as her in the second game, and she's the main fire adept in your party for that. She has a lot more to do in the story than Meia admittedly does. I'll just mention this briefly. She is the canon love interest of the main character, Isaac, and the two eventually get married, but for SPNatI terms, that's sort of being ignored for right now. It's like they haven't gotten together properly or settled down as she has been written. But in general, I just did... I did the art, obviously, and then Soulheart has had free reign to write her as he sees fit. I'd love to know what you two think of her in general.
Well, did you do the art and the posing?
Yeah.
Okay, and he did the writing.
Yeah.
So I'm actually curious, like, you have a pretty unique perspective on the character, because I'm sure, I mean, you're very familiar with her, obviously, and I'm sure even as you were doing the art and posing her, there were, kind of the way she talks was kind of in your head, and I'm curious how you feel Soulheart delivered on that, especially in comparison to Meia.
I think they do have some obvious parallels. One of them being that they're both a little bit shy and get a bit embarrassed, but they both definitely want to be playing the game, and so they're never really, they never break down crying or anything. And we even came up with a decision early on for her strip order, like, okay, we'll make it so that she's a little bit bold and takes off her underwear first, because then you have the bottomless in a sweater look, which is really nice. But then she does cover herself up in some of her more shy poses, because she sort of second guesses it or feels embarrassed by it.
Is that sort of the character she is?
Yeah, she has moments in the game, like the source games, where she blushes a fair bit. I think someone insinuates that she has a crush on Isaac, and she gets embarrassed by that, obviously. But she's a fire adept, so she has that sort of fiery personality baked into her, because that's the sort of series Golden Sun is. It's not too deep. So she does have some moments of being able to flare up and snark back, but overall she is, not super kind-hearted, but she's nice. Tries to be nice to people.
It's nice to be nice. Lokkit, it is your first ever official, full-on, not lightning round section on the podcast where you can say your piece.
Oh, I'm so
Go ahead,
excited.
please do so. What did you think of Jenna?
You don't have to hold back, by the way.
No pressure.
Oh, no, look, dude, I have very little bad things to say about this character. Let me see, I have some notes. So I'll start with the model. I think the model's just really nice to look at overall. It's I like the outfits, simple, but just easy on the eyes. I think the sweater is really hot. I think that's the appeal of this character is she's got big old titties. I'm not usually a fan of bottomless first, but again, I think her boobs are sort of the prize at the end, so I like that those are the last thing that she reveals. And yeah, the custom tits and the body detailing is like fucking absolute peak. I'm not even like a huge tit guy. Obviously, both my characters are pretty, small chested here, but like it's just perfect. So yeah, model's really good. I think the posing complements the writing pretty well. As for the writing, like she's really cute and sweet. I think her personality is like really well expressed through the writing. I wasn't sitting there confused about like what kind of character this is. Like I got the gist of it pretty quickly, which I think is important. I like the kind of like shy but eager thing she's got going on. She's experimenting, exploring new things. Yeah, she's really fun. I think the only thing I would say about the writing is like I want to hear more about her fire powers and like what her occupation is and stuff. Like I didn't really get a good sense. I didn't even know she had fire powers until she took off the scarf. I was like, oh, like you better not touch this scarf because my mom gave it to me or you'll get burned. I'm like, oh, okay, she must have fire powers. So maybe I missed it, but I think more there could be interesting because she's so sweet, and the fiery, like mean side or like more serious side kind of threw me off guard. But I was interested, and I want to see more about that, and maybe just like a little bit more about like lore and her backstory. I'm not usually a huge fan of like tons of that, but just a little bit I think would add a lot of flavor if there's a spot that Soulheart can figure out to add it to. And I don't really know what... I think Meia explains it a little bit, but I don't really know what Signorgy is.
The characters themselves struggle to really know what
Nord
it
is
is.
leveling up his three-quarter butt pose skills.
Yes.
They continue. She's not quite as cheeked up as Meia. I guess she's supposed to be the boobs to her butt.
Yeah. Currently hasn't been implemented into the game, but I just felt like sharing it. Characters themselves would struggle to explain what Synergy is because they don't really look at it in an academic sense. Jenna knew what Synergy was when she was growing up because they had like a town scholar named Kraden to explain it all to them. Meia didn't know it was called Synergy until she met the party. But yeah, Jenna has complete control over the element of fire.
So she could beat up Revy.
Exactly. In future, I might actually draw a Mars Jin, which is, Mars is the planet of fire in the Goldensun universe. Or like Mars Synergy is fire element. The same way Mercury is for water. But we also decided that we didn't want Jenna to copy Meia in the sense of, here's a Jin just floating around for a couple of stages. But in future, for interactions, maybe one of them could appear.
Yeah, it might be cool if she like does something with the fire powers, or just it talks about it a little bit more than the one time that I saw. And I only played like 2 games with her, so maybe there's lines I missed, but I kind of just I was interested in that fire stuff. I want to hear more about it. And yeah, but overall, I mean, she's really really well done. Yeah, hats off to you guys.
Thank you.
Well, you know me. I am me. I am spnanon. I like Meia. I like butts. I like space, and I like playing bad cop. Art-wise, she's good. Nord is a certain style where I think you don't do more than you have to. Which makes sense. You've got a lot of characters you're working on, although Zeke and Pandoria do look pretty ambitious. She gets all the visuals across that she needs to. This custom butt looks nice, and overall, it's an appealing, unique strip order. It's nice to have those unique looks. No real criticism there. It seems like she didn't emote very much. Especially for an apparently fiery personality. She's pretty tamped down, all things considered. Like visually, there was not too much that was like striking for me. It did take her a while to lose, admittedly, in my game. But yeah. Something to consider if you revisit her art at all. Something else to consider. I'm sure you're going to love hearing this. I feel like her hair should flip. I'm not 100% on that. It seems like it should, though.
I'm gonna say probably not, because I don't think it ever flips in official art.
Can you?
You know,
Okay, I tried looking up like the box art, and I think it was, it was pointing the other way.
possibly.
I gotta. It's
There,
hard to
there's
tell, but
there's not a lot of official art of her.
I'm just like, yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure it does. I'm looking. I mean, a lot of this seems to be fan art, but even there, they're like, yeah, they're doing it. Her ahoge is going the other way and everything. You blew it.
Oh my god, the hair flip salesman. SPNanon here to.
Hey, I'm not against making characters hair flip. I've done it in the past. I just don't think it should happen with Jenna.
I'm seeing it though. It is a little hard to tell half these results on Google or AI art because I guess somebody thought I'd want to see that for some reason. Expert Goldensun aficionado that I am, I'm gonna say that you're wrong on this one. Should be flipping. See? You even posted the images.
They're flipping the way that it flips in SPNatI.
Yeah, these look all the same.
If you mean like the little, if you mean the little spikes at the back, that they don't flip because like she's not turning her head, so you don't see them from a different angle.
Some people have very different standards for what counts as a head turn. I'm more of the implicit sense rather than the literal. Anyway, that isn't my main criticism. I guess it kind of is. It bothers me. Okay, it just it tickles a little like neuron somewhere here in the back in the lizard brain. It's like it doesn't. This art should be lying to me, and it isn't. It's just not scratching the itch. Writing wise was the main thing where I felt like she felt very similar to Meia, which is kind of weird. Because you said you wanted her to stand out. But it's not really Meia. It's more. She was just kind of bland, and I think she'd kind of seem similar to a lot of characters. She gave a lot of advice and encouragement. Lots of like telling me about like her source and what she did. A lot of like, I don't know, like kind of vague references to like what they did in the game, but it's kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, she's not like offensively bad or anything. I just feel like every line she said, I feel like there could have been a little more there or like a little more under the surface. There was like, ironically, I didn't learn a whole lot about her. I didn't really learn about like what her party was trying to do or who was in it or what her role in the party was or like her backstory. She kind of talked about those things. It's like, oh, this is around that time I did, this or so and so. But like, it's like kind of superficial in that regard. There was like a line where it was like, she was like watching someone strip, and it's just like, this reminds me of when I watched someone else in the party strip. It's like, well, okay, yeah. It's kind of like saying, it's kind of like you're on a date, and it's like, this reminds me of when I had dinner with my friends because they also ate food. It's like, okay, you gotta dig a little deeper here.
Talking about your ex so much that your date starts to miss them.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of that. I kind of agree, but I think it's like a decent base. I do agree with you,
Yeah.
Spinel. I think digging a little bit deeper, would just add a lot to her because it's a good start.
There's a lot of things here that are like almost there, and she just needs to be like taken a little bit further to give it like some subtext instead of just seeing what's kind of on there in there on the surface. Because like, she's fiery, but that's more of like an informed trait. I didn't get a lot out of her. She just seemed very sweet the whole time.
I think that's fair criticism. It is still early days for her writing wise because Soul Heart hasn't been able to get out major updates for her yet. She still has a relatively small line count just for all the basics there for testing.
Yeah, that was the other thing. She repeated herself a lot, but that's most testing characters. I think when she started the forfeit as well, maybe try flirting a little bit more. Another thing, she didn't express what she was interested in particular. Anyway, Nord is typing in the chat. Yeah, we got to move on. But I think we've all said our piece Would you agree?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, I hope you're good, Lokkit, because now you're up. You're up to bat. Prepare to get criticized.
Yeah, I'm excited, dude.
Jauntily, merrily, utterly one-sidedly.
I'm ready for my beatdown.
Nani Sore.
Oh, God. Here we go.
What's that? What's that? Why, it is the band geek herself. Here with the classic bully pose. It's Pink Nagatoro.
Pink Nagatoro, baby.
Nonon Jakuzure. From Kill la Kill. Lokkit's second effort, and we'll let you explain yourself. Explain what you have inflicted upon us all.
Have I done?
Yes. Yeah.
Sure. So,
why this character? When did you start? What did you want to do with her? And what's going to happen going forward?
So just a big Kill la Kill fan. Nonon's clearly my favorite, as you might be able to tell. Yeah, I started working on her like last year almost, or no, it was like January of this year. I had a lot of fun making the model, and when I tried to get started on the writing, like it was pretty going okay at first, but I actually got a little bit burnt out with her. I mean, I do think that she is a little bit kind of similar to Nagatoro, at least in terms of the fact that she's kind of mean. And that was a little bit hard, because it's like, how do I separate the voice? There are times where I'm sure I've slipped back into lines that might feel pretty Nagatoro-ish. But yeah, it was kind of a long road. I got really burnt out, kind of stopped working on this character for a bit. And recently I got back into it and decided to just throw her on testing, see what people think. Yeah, I'm looking forward to adding like more targets, obviously. I think like a lot of tag targeting will be good for this character. She has lots of opinions on things, but it's hard in generics to always express those because you don't really have much to go off of. And I'm really excited to add her costumes. That's what I'm like really most looking forward to. She has a lot of good costumes, so that's gonna be my
nudist beach.
Yeah, I have some of them partly made.
I'm surprised you didn't transform at all.
Yeah, I was going to, but
that was Ryuko's big thing back in the day.
Like, so it was actually Rem that brought up a good point that like if Nonon were to do a transformation, like it would be a lot to maybe incorporate that into different costumes. I guess I could just not do it for other costumes, but also I think it kind of like takes away from targeting. It's really hard to target a transformation stage like meaningfully.
Yeah, because the character always has to put some amount of effort into acknowledging their transformation in some way. Even for something that isn't like a full transformation. Like Aqua Kingdom Hearts, for example, always has to summon her Keyblade in Stage 2, so that always has to factor into targeted dialogue around that stage. So I think you made a good call on having her not transform. And if you did want her to transform, that would be something to put in a costume. If you get what I'm saying, like have a costume where it's like, in this one she does do a transformation.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
That's the lesson I really took away from Ryuko is, yeah, it's fun to make all those interesting sequences where there's a ton of stuff happening, but that means you can't really write any targets. And that's what I enjoyed doing a lot. So I kind of got burned out on it pretty quick. This is, in fact, the very first time any of my characters have gotten a franchise mate that I didn't make, of course.
Yeah, you're welcome for that.
It took a while.
And yet, by technicality, this is the third Kill la Kill character in the game.
Oh yeah, right, Mako.
What about Senketsu?
Because there's the old Ryuko, classic Ryuko.
True.
Oh yeah. Wait, can I add one more thing about the like transformation too?
Go ahead.
So one other thing that I don't love about it is I feel like part of the appeal of SPNatI is like you want to see what's under their clothes, and when they transform, you're just seeing different clothes that they didn't have on in the first place, you know? So it's kind of like, I felt like it just would be more, I don't know. Like I could definitely do it for a costume, but I kind of like the idea that it's just not, you know, she's not putting a whole different outfit on. halfway through.
If anything, it means she's more honest than Ryuko.
I think it works well for Ryuko, though. I like it.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there and you haven't watched Kill la Kill and you're just horribly confused because you missed out on the cultural event that defined a generation in 2013, it's all about just like the high school and like students battling and stuff, and they wear like these Goku uniforms, they call them, where they can transform and give them superpowers. And Nonon is the band geek, one of the elite four. So she transforms into like a giant flying drum set fortress or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's pretty goofy, actually, her transformation.
Yeah. She has like different stages to it, and if you did the biggest one, they take up the entire screen.
That would be great for April Fools, yeah.
Oh no, don't give me ideas, guys.
Yeah. Well, we'll give you a chance to kind of collect your thoughts here. Nord, what did you think of Nona?
Her art is...
I mean, you and I are both TF2 enjoyers. So, like, we should appreciate a good stout Shako.
Oh, yes. The hat adds so much height to her profile. I was expecting her to keep it on all game, so I was actually surprised when she took it off. I should point out I discovered this because I'm the one that had to review the merge request to put her in the game. But she's so wonderfully expressive. I really love I think it's the board pose where she's like blowing bubble gum. It's hilarious and very fitting for her. SPNanon mentioned that like one of your signatures is that you have like really bouncy animations, and I think for both Nagatoro and Nonon, you do really well with those. They add a lot of personality to her stripping sequences. And I did notice you had fun again with custom text styles, with having her shout using like really bold text rather than just going into all caps, which I think is really good. It looks a lot better for a character to have bold text for that sort of emphasis rather than going all caps, because all caps just sort of it feels more like just, as counterintuitive as it is, it's more noisy and less appealing to read than just seeing it in normal capitalization. Or maybe I'm just really weird like that. Either way, really good all around.
No, all caps just makes me think I'm reading like a 14-year-old's fan fiction.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that might actually describe some of the offline characters.
And early on, I know she has like multiple variations of a line where she's like going on about how important she is, and there's variations for depending on like if someone else loses or if she loses when she's like mid-speech. She's so good.
Yeah, it's a good representation of like the sort of bombastic presence that she would want to project out. Because that was her whole thing. In the end, I mean, it was all of their things. But
yeah, it was an over the top anime.
She didn't have any like of her cronies sounding off for her entrance.
Have you? So for her forfeit, she fantasizes about Satsuki, doesn't she? Have you thought about what would happen if someday in the future someone adds Satsuki?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like this time I have like a marker that she sets actually, and it checks that there's no character named Satsuki in the game. Right now there's no, like, I don't really do anything with it, but I'm like ready to change a lot of stuff if Satsuki does get added. For sure. If someone adds Senpai for Nagatoro, I'm absolutely fucked though. I will admit that. Like that's a whole rewrite.
I'm seeing double 2 Senpais.
That is a whole entire rewrite. But this Nonon, like, I try to keep the Satsuki stuff to a minimum, so
just have Nagatoro like just blue screen and start fantasize about getting like double teamed by the 2 Senpais.
By the 2 Senpais. He just leaves. Yeah.
Just like breaks and stands there for the whole time. Well, so on that topic for Nonon, yeah, I was a little confused, I guess, about her sexuality or whatever. Because, like, yeah, she's very focused on men for a lot of her topics. I guess because I was playing as a man, but like, yeah, she focuses a lot on like bullying and kind of making fun of men in general. And around the girls, she was just kind of dismissive of them because, you know, she kind of views herself as better than most of the girls. She just likes Lady Satsuki. She was tagged as bisexual, though. I mean, I guess so. Like, you know, I guess there's a sexual element to all of her, you know, bullying, that she likes to make fun of men so much. But like, you know, her approach to girls seems like a little confused, or is it like just more of like a matter of respect for Satsuki specifically? So I'm like kind of confused, like where she is in her head. Like I don't remember a whole lot of bullying in the show. I mean, like, yeah, she was kind of like a bitch to Ryuko, but that's just because of like her role in the story and like the hierarchy of the school. So I wonder how she would act around strangers, you know?
Right. Yeah, I think her approach towards women is something I just really need to work on more. Like, yeah, I think she would be dismissive of like women that she sees as not like up to her standards still. That's how I expect it. Because, like, you know, I don't think she really thinks that highly of like people like Mako, for example. Right? Like Mako, yeah, Mako's a girl, but it's kind of like, she's sort of disgracing. She's a disgrace of a woman in Nonon's, you know, eyes, kind of just a goofball. Yeah, maybe not so much bullying. That could just be some of the lines being like not targeted correctly. So yeah, I could work on that. And then yeah, I do want her to be like more flirty with some of the women in SPNatI, but I just feel like she's really picky with who she would be interested in. So I don't know if it makes that much sense to have her like actively flirt with just anybody, but like maybe in targets or certain tags she would be more interested in. So I think I need to do a little bit more there. But yeah, generally I think like I do need to I did struggle with like her lines toward other women, and I probably just need to revise a lot of those.
I'm sorry you kind of got burned out a little on her, but I mean the work definitely shows. Did a good job of like this, her of all characters, she like occasionally shut up sometimes and like actually like let the visuals talk because the poses were so good. You know, the bouncy animations, as always, they're full of nice touches. Like when she took off the shako and her hair fell after a beat. That was pretty funny. It like I'm almost jealous watching them because like they're so good, and you know you kind of want to do that for other characters, but not every character is animated that way, all bouncy and energetic like that, and that wouldn't be right for their portrayal, you know, or the energy that they have.
Yeah, I feel Lucky Kill la Kill like to lean into like some chintzy animation sometimes. Like even her taking off her like her uniform, right? Like where she just it just like becomes paper and like that. They did that in Kill la Kill. I don't know if you remember, not with Nonon, but like a different character did like an outfit change that way. So it just I do feel lucky that it's easy. It's very easy to animate these little like things, but I agree it would not work for everybody. Like I cannot imagine like Meia bouncing around the screen. That would just be so not correct.
No, I don't think she's ever animated like that. Jura occasionally can be pretty goofy. I really want to contort her face at some point. I just got so much else to do. But yeah, like there's tons of little touches here. Like you even seem to have like added ribbons to kind of like smooth out the curves on her frame, so it's not like jagged Kisuke lines.
Yeah, I tried that. It was something I haven't seen. I don't know if I've seen any other characters do it. I've actually gotten that suggestion from a couple other Kisuke enthusiasts in the server, and I just want to see how people would react. I'm not married to the idea, but I kind of like it.
I like it, yeah. I think Nami and Robin kind of do it, and like maybe some other Metals characters, but it's like only on the hips. It's not like you did it on like her waist and her rib cage too.
Yeah, like giving custom detail to the sort of standard hourglass look that a lot of female characters have. I think it was a great touch. It's so great and so subtle I didn't even notice. But now that it's been pointed out, I realize, that makes the model look a whole lot better.
Nothing gets past me. Where's her butt? Nagatoros has a butt.
It's coming. I swear, it's coming.
That's yeah. My only criticism, it's not even really criticism, but yeah, I introduced her as Pink Nagatoro. That's kind of what she is. Thought it was very funny that you just came out with a character who's very similar in all respects. I'm worried that you're going to typecast yourself. You know, she's petite and she's a bully, and she's very assertive. She's got a bit of a she can be a little embarrassed when the chips are down. Even like, you know, the animations are one thing, but even like the style of boob that she has, like the shape and everything, very similar to Nagatoro. So I just you're capable of so much, man. I just want to see you diversify and challenge yourself. Make just like a muscle bound Amazon for the next. Make like Urbosa. I want to see how you handle that.
And it's not even a bad thing to have a type that you're good at making.
No.
Or that you're into.
Yeah, like for me, like this is obviously just a hobby for fun. I think I would love to try like branch out a little bit, but at the end of the day, like the character that you really enjoy playing is going to be the one that you are going to enjoy making. So yeah, I do want to try to like help differentiate their personalities a little bit more. I feel like I'm not sure I fully agree that they're that similar. Like, yeah, they're both mean. There's a bullying element, but Nonon's like witty. Like Nagatoro, like
they're not that similar in the writing. I just meant like artistically.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, proportions are. I mean, they're both tiny. They're both petite for sure. The boobs, I did something different with Nonon actually than Nagatoro. They're both small, but it's kind of like a different look, I think.
They are a little different.
But yeah, no, I could definitely branch out more. You're right. We'll see. Maybe next time, dude.
Overall, very good. Worthy of being Ryuko's franchise mate. I will not send her targets. She will forever think, until someone adopts her, she will forever think that Natsuki is Nonon.
What's the difference anyway? Yeah, dude, I hope someone picks her up, and I would love to do targets. I knew going into this like you were not going to do anything with Ryuko, and that's totally fine.
Kumatora, of all people, can't get an adopter.
Yeah, I think maybe it was Blue Coin. Somebody mentioned they had a friend that was interested.
Oh, I haven't heard from that.
But yeah, I don't know if that's like a real thing or not. But yeah, it'd be fun.
I heard from them and then they disappeared. So,
Lokkit, something you should do on the like 1 in a million chance someone actually tries it is have her react to both Ryukos being in the same game.
I don't know how I would do that without like kind of just like dabbing on the old one's art. You know,
treat that one as just like episode 1 to 2 Ryuko, where she wasn't fully transformed.
Okay,
yeah, there you go.
Anyway, very good overall. Very impressive. Very nice work. Love to see you come out with these annual bangers.
Wait, and we have her hat as a collectible.
Truly worthy of the 3-star uniform. The stout Shako herself. Okay, ready to move on? Anything else to say about Nona?
Yeah, just one more thing. The hat as a collectible might have been a mistake. I don't think I've seen a single person use it yet. Because I thought about it, I'm like, no one wants to wear that shit. It's goofy. That shit looks goofy as hell.
Hey, I want to wear it. You heard SPNanon, we're TF2 players. We want as many hats as we can get.
Speaking of fucking goofy ass hats to wear, our main roster edition for this time is Caitlin from Pokemon, who has an even bigger, dumber hat. She finally made it. She was gone for a long time. I don't want to say it's a troubled development history, but it took a lot of effort, and she takes up a lot of space. And if I may, kind of went in and out, and she herself went in and out of testing. It's really exciting to see her finally make it. We'll try to speed things up. We've been going a bit long since we're talking about our own work, as always. Yeah, Caitlin from Black and White. One of the most beloved Pokemon characters and Elite Four members, especially because she actually got character development and visibly aged. Imagine that in Pokemon. Nord, give your thoughts on Caitlin and her entry into the main roster.
as you mentioned, Caitlyn didn't really. She disappeared for a while, and then she came back with the update that was making her ready for mod QA. Because there wasn't really that much wrong with her aside from just needing to check off all of the sponsorship requirements. She's really good. Her writing's quite good. If I may put a lot of effort into trying to make her consistent and give her that sort of very aloof personality you'd expect from her, and I think he's done a really good job. The art is really well done. I believe she has a butt pose on the way, it just hasn't been implemented yet. I don't actually remember how they get around the issue of her hair being in the way. But speaking of that hair, it is so voluminous, I'm pretty sure they've had to do a lot of drastic measures to make sure she can squeeze into that tiny file space she had to get under 15 megabytes.
Well, she has a little bit more to work with now. Thankfully.
She does.
You can see even in you're welcome. Even in this image that I posted, she's actually smaller than normal, and she's scaled up in game because they had to.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
I think with hindsight, they could have made the back of her hair into a separate image and used the pose maker to just reuse the same one every time. That would require to have planned that from the beginning, I think.
Well, that actually is the case for her forfeit specifically.
Uh-huh.
Which is something I actually noticed because that image attachment is kind of aliased, unfortunately.
Mm.
That's something I've had to contend with, drawing all those custom poses, because you can't rotate any body parts without Photoshop aliasing the shit out of it. I feel your pain. It's just kind of something you have to deal with. Do you have any other thoughts on Caitlyn or her appeal? Did she appeal to you personally? Have you played Pokemon Black and White?
I did, extensively. Both of them. I'm pretty sure I bought Black and then I bought White 2, which was the exact wrong thing to do to get a coherent story.
Everybody does that, and I don't know why.
I ended up with 2 Zekroms because of it.
Yeah. Is that just their gotcha? They think people are trying to be clever? It's just here's the same dragon as before.
I got 2 Zekrom, so I got Pokemon White and then Pokemon Black too. But Caitlyn, it's nothing against her as she is in SPNatI, but she's just not my favorite type of personality, the very aloof and sleepy kind of person. But I think for what she is, she does it pretty well. Lokkit, what do you think about Caitlyn?
Yeah, so honestly, when I played her, now that she's back again, the writing's definitely even better than it was in the first place, and it was already good. I kind of agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of how sleepy she is, but I think she brings a really good quirky energy to the game that's not a lot of characters have. It feels pretty unique, and her personality is really well expressed through the writing. Yeah, she's really awesome. The art is great. I mean, this was Blue Jay, right? I'm pretty sure Blue Jay always does an amazing job. Expressions are awesome. The forfeit's a little over the top for me, that she summons the entire bed and stuff, but I get why they did that since she has the hair situation. So
it's honestly kind of funny. She takes up so much space and then she decides to take up even more space.
Yeah, I think that's it's definitely a technical challenge with how huge her hair is. I am a little sad, she's a bit blurry if you play in full screen, especially because she's just scaled up a little bit more than she really wants to be. But at the same time, I don't think it really detracts from the experience overall. It's, maybe doing the custom poses would be a good solution, but that seems like a lot of work. I thought about doing it with Nonon's hat, actually, because that would reduce our file size quite a bit, but It's extra work, so I get it. What else? Yeah, no, she just brings a really unique energy to the game, and I really like her. I'm glad she's back.
Yeah, I really like this character. I'm glad that she's on the main roster now. She totally deserves it. Definitely one of the strongest Pokemon characters, I would say, because she actually has a character. And as far as Pokemon humans go, she has some of the most going on out of anyone because she got like actual development between generations and age. Like she's got the Ojo-sama thing. She's kind of well-to-do, and she owns villas and lets people stay in them so they can have their Yuri fantasies with Chantal and, and Cynthia. And then, but she's also got like the sleepiness and sort of like the latent psychic energy. She's got the whole like butler and bratty princess thing going on, but also like sleeping and like the pajama kinks and the somnophilia and all that for the people who are into it. And she's even got unique looks going on with like the half naked, the robe slipping off her shoulders in the finished poses. So yeah, even though she might not be like the most bombastic presence, but visually she takes up a lot of space, and I think she has a lot going on. I really like her, and I think she's an excellent addition. One of the strongest choices you could have made from this series, I would say. And done very well. Nice job, if I may.
Yeah, very good stuff.
And great job,
Any other thoughts?
Great job, Blue Jay, for the model and the posing. Great job, Magician, for drawing all of the props, like the big chair.
Listen, I just do everything myself. Okay, I do all the art and all the writing, and I just assume that's true of everybody else. So whoever's name I associate first with the character is just they did everything. That's how it works. That about covers it for episode 80, other than a brief mention of another character that returned. We're not saying too much about her yet because, by his own admission, this is just like an update to literally revive her. This is Kagamine Rin from Vocaloid, or as she's known in the file system, Rin Kagamine. It's very confusing to have Rin Kagamine and then Hatsune Miku folder. But yeah, she's back. Go play her. She hasn't really changed at all, but she was pretty good in the first place. We talked about her a while back.
Yeah, she's cute.
I think at like the start of this year or so. Or do you have any brief thoughts on Kagamine Rin?
I think I prefer her Act 2 costume, and I don't know what that says about me. Legitimately, I don't know what that says about me, or if there's any important context between her default and her Act 2 costume.
Which one is that, with the short hair?
Yeah, short hair with a bow and a different type of outfit in general with shorts instead of a skirt.
Yeah, I like that one too.
And it's also a case where like the sleeves and the skirt and the shorts were literally made for Vocaloid characters, which is a very happy coincidence for anyone making these characters.
That's a yeah. I said when we first talked about her, I like the short hair one as well. The one where she's apparently canonically supposed to be 14. So that officially makes me a dirty old man in this dirty old podcast. The cops are coming, so it's time to end. Nord, Lokkit, do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to plug? Or any hopes and dreams for the future?
Well, if I can, I do want to just say I agree that the Act 2 design is better, I think, personally. But I get why they made the other one the default. And yeah, Rin's cute. Anything I want to plug? No, you guys know me. I'm around.
I don't have anything to plug this time. Remember to like the video and share it with all your friends who are no doubt interested in strip poker.
Oh god, we gotta end. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's ruined.
Okay, so that's gonna do it for episode.
On that note, yeah.
On 80. Sorry, I just have to think of things on the spot. Did you mind that I interrupted you?
Oh, was that on purpose?
Yes, that was on purpose.
I think it's
I thought
funny
something
that
actually fell down.
earlier you were like, "Oh, we have to find ways to make the podcast be seen by more people," and I'm literally like the video and share it with your friends, and then you're like, "Oh shit, gotta
Spenanon's
interrupt
house
this."
collapses, yeah.
Well, who wants to hear that? Yeah, that's a. I mean, don't you just tune out when people say that on YouTube?
Yeah, I do.
It's a bitch move. All the best channels never say that at all. They never acknowledge their fans in any way, as it should be.
Yep.
According to YouTube analytics, 87% of you are not subscribed to this channel.
To make and to make ends meet, we're now sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
You'd imagine. We have to add Raid Shadow Legends to SPNatI as part of the sponsorship.
Are there actual characters?
Do you care about your internet security? So do we. That's why this video is sponsored by Manscaping.
Do you like your balls?
So do we.
Has anyone licked them lately and then complained that they were too hairy? And that's why you're jerking off.
I mean, Nord, you're just made for the NordVPN sponsorship, honestly.
Well, we did that joke already.
Yeah, and I'm sure we have.
It was a pretty recent episode.
I always pretend, you're the first person to have ever made that joke. Congratulations. Whatever
Give
someone
me
else
my
makes it.
medal now and my cookie. Thank you.
Is Raid? Does anyone actually play Raid Shadow Legends, or is it like a money laundering scheme?
I have no clue how it makes so much money. It looks just... I mean, it must be fun. People must actually play it, right?
I've seen so many ads, and I've never seen anyone actually play it.
Yeah, I don't play that.
I mean, like a mobile game has to survive by like whales. They don't care about the average player. They care about the whales that spend tens of thousands of dollars compared to some random player who spends like $1 once every couple of months just because they're bored. So it must have some fun core gameplay loop for it to be in business, or it's money laundering, as you said.
Yeah, I think it's money laundering. Something's fucked up.
It just seems so generic, and they have so much money.
Maybe just advertising actually is working. I don't know.
Okay, well, hopefully some of that was funny enough to be like a stinger or whatever.